Welcome back to Power Rankings for the week of September 22nd, 2025. Recording this live Sunday night, the 21st. We have 1 week to go. This time, next week, we will know exactly what the playoff landscape will look like. How's everybody feeling out there? Detroit fans, sweating it out, aren't you? Mets fans, getting a little hot. Cleveland and Cincinnati, oh my God. The pressure that they are putting on the Cleveland pressure is being felt by the Tigers. It's being felt by the Red Sox. It's being felt by the Mariners and maybe more specifically the Astros. As the Mariners, as of recording, are in the 9th inning, about to maybe put the finishing touches on a sweep in Houston. So Cleveland's really putting the pressure on a bunch of teams right now. And the Detroit Tigers, again, we're looking at, an epic collapse. And while all of that is going on, I see some in the live chat already commenting on it. The Toronto Blue Jays have clinched a playoff spot, but we are not done. The Toronto Blue Jays still have to go out there and lock up the division. And I would really like that first round bye, maybe even that number 1 seed. So that is hopefully in store for the Blue Jays this week. Welcome in, everybody. Again, to Power Rankings, and we have a new sponsor for our Power Rankings that I am excited to tell you about. Kalshi. Kalshi is the largest federally regulated prediction market in the U.S. where, unlike sportsbooks, people trade against each other, not the house. Fans can legally trade on the outcome of baseball games, division winners, awards, and more in all 50 states. Yes, even California, even Texas. I have the website up. You can see it right here. Odds are directly tied to market prices, and you can see exactly what that is when you enter a dollar amount. We have a government shutdown option over here because as this is, as I was about to outline, but the website got ahead of me here. Again, better than sports books because we are looking at wagering on politics, pop culture, award shows, the economy. Here is the Chiefs and Giants right now live. Let's say I want to put a wager in on the Chiefs. It is 6-6. Yeah, I think the Chiefs are going to win. I can even see what my payout is going to be. $50 in, a chance 68, and it updates live. And I can get out at any time as well. If you want to give it a try, I put a link in the description for you to easily head over there and check it out for yourself. And Kalshi will give you $10 when you sign up with my code BALLCAP when you put $100 in. Again, make sure to check them out. We'll talk more about them later on in this video, in this live stream. All right, let's, for some of you, it's a video, right? If you're watching the replay. All right, let's dig into this situation with the power rankings as we will sort of have a little bit of a finger on the pulse for what's happening with the postseason and start to, get to our finalization for the power rankings. We will only do this one more time this year. So let's see how we are doing here. Let's go and let's place teams 30 through 19. That's going to be our group of teams that are towards the back half. Technically, the Cardinals and the Marlins have not been eliminated yet. And really focus on the Marlins here. The Cardinals entered this season viewing themselves as a contender for a postseason spot. Many people that make predictions believe the Cardinals had a shot. I kind of felt like this is always where they were going to be. But the team that has surprised me is that team in at number 19. The Miami Marlins are only 4 games below 500, and heading into the final week, they are not going to make the playoffs. But the fact that they have not been eliminated from the postseason as we head into the final week is somewhat of an accomplishment. 76 and 80 on the year now. They won every single game this week. Good job by the Miami Marlins, as there's some good ball players there. This is a team playing tough. You see Miami on your schedule, and it's not going to be easy. Good job. 18, 17, and 16 is an interesting group. This is a group of teams that is all in a tough spot right now, and one particularly has been eliminated, and I'm going to put all three of them up. We have the Giants, the Royals, and the Rangers in at 18, 17, 16. Also, shout out to the Atlanta Braves. The Atlanta Braves did not lose a game this week either, finishing strong for what it's worth. The San Francisco Giants are in at 18, but I don't want you to think that I am saying that with that current positioning that they're out of it by any means. And actually, let me think about this. I know Kansas City's got a better record, but San Francisco, we'll hold it. The Kansas City Royals took 2 out of 3 from the Blue Jays. They got 1 from Seattle. Kansas City had a better week, so we'll leave them ahead, even though San Francisco still has a chance. And I actually think San Francisco has everything in front of them to go out there and be difficult this towards the close of this season. They have the Cardinals and they have the Rockies, and they have owned the Rockies this year. San Francisco Giants are 2 games below 500 right now, but they're only 3 games back in the wild card. So, strap in. All right. 18, 17, 16. Anything else we need to say about this group of team? The Texas Rangers, Jesus. I mean, come on, guys. Didn't win a game this week. Didn't win a damn game. Got swept by the Astros, who are about to get swept by Seattle. And then got swept by the Miami Marlins. I know Miami's playing good baseball. We just say good things about Miami, but Texas Rangers, your season's on the line. You literally were on life support. And that Miami Marlins team came through and just kicked the cord right out of the wall. It's over. 79 and 77. They're too far back. They are not going to see the postseason. All right, let's get into this top half group. In at number 15, we're going to place a couple teams here, and you guys are going to get right into it with the vote for that 12, 11, and 10 spot. And I can tell you, it is a very interesting group of teams. In at number 15. I am going to go with the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Arizona Diamondbacks have turned this thing around. They were sellers at the deadline. The one guy they kept was Gallen, and he has returned to his ace form. They are 2 games above 500 as we record this, which puts them just 1 game back for a wild card spot. They have, of the teams that are still playing for something, and on the outside looking in, they have the toughest schedule of anybody. They've got the Dodgers for 3. Excuse me. Still working my way back from a cold. I'm about 67% as we stand here today. 67%. Yeah. We have 3 against the Dodgers, 3 against the Padres in San Diego. Arizona has a tough road this week, but, I mean, we counted them out a month ago, and they overcame the odds. They just took 2 out of 3 from San Francisco, 2 out of 3 from Philadelphia. Gallen on Saturday was fantastic. Today, Erod and the Bats led the way, and they took 2 out of 3 from the Philadelphia Phillies. The Arizona Diamondbacks are in it, guys. All right, in at number 14, barely. I was so close to flipping these two, but I'm not going to do that. I still believe. In the face of it all, I still believe. Actually, I don't know. Do I believe the Mets are going to make the playoffs? Dude, the Reds. All right, so we have a Mets team I'm putting in at 14. I'm holding at number 14. Tied. As we record this, the Mets are now tied for that final wild card spot with the red-hot Cincinnati Reds. And as we head into this week, for the Mets, we got a pissed-off Cubs team that just got swept by the Reds. I mean, the Cubs could get some revenge here by losing to the Mets, because then that would hurt Cincinnati. I don't know, man. The way this is going to go is going to be fascinating, because we have a Mets team that has the Cubs and the Marlins on the road. No more games this regular season at Citi Field. Took 2 out of 3 from the Padres, dropped 2 out of 3 to the Washington Nationals. Stop hitting the ball to center field. Dude, it is an incredible thing that we have witnessed here with the New York Mets. The only thing overshadowing it more is what the Detroit Tigers have done over the last week. Because again, the Mets won 3 games this week. That's 3 more games than the Detroit Tigers won. And the Detroit Tigers are also, and we'll talk about it, staring down the barrel of missing the playoffs now. That's how bad it's gotten for the Detroit Tigers. All right. Let's see here. We have the Mets in at 14. I'm going to hold them there. Cincinnati in at, wait, yes, I'm going to do this. Okay. The vote is coming up right after this. Cincinnati is in at 13. Don't take that to a place where you are viewing my words as saying that I think the Reds are going to get in over the Mets. I'm not saying that. This is just power rankings. This is not playoff predictions. If you want my predictions on how the rest of the season is going to go, how the final week is going to go, I premiered my video last night on that, and you can check that out. But the Cincinnati Reds, I did not see a sweep coming this weekend against the Chicago Cubs. What is happening? Do the Cubs not want the Mets to make the playoffs? Is that what's going on here? Is that what's happening? Because I don't know how in the world the Cincinnati Reds just swept the Chicago Cubs. Bookended that series with 1-0 shutouts. Spencer Steer had a big series for the Reds. I mean, rolling. And they've got Pittsburgh, and then they are in Milwaukee. And Milwaukee has the division secured. It's really going to come down to, does Milwaukee care about having the 1 seed or just having the bye? Milwaukee has a 3-game lead over the Philadelphia Phillies. By the time that series is played, the Reds and the Brewers, next weekend, the Brewers may be resting their main guys that final game. And that may be a game that decides on Reds or Mets getting in. So things shape up better for the Reds next week than they do for the Mets. I've got the Reds in at 13, jumping 5 spots after taking 2 out of 3 from St. Louis on the road and then sweeping the Chicago Cubs. I mean, the tone was set with that Hunter Green performance on Thursday, and then the Reds just rode that to a weekend sweep. Big time stuff from the Reds. Very surprised to see the Cubs falter like that. Here is the vote. This is a fascinating vote. Now, as of recording, the Red Sox are losing to the Rays in the bottom of the 8th. It is 4-3. Rays just put a runner on. We'll see how that goes. But the Red Sox, for all intents and purposes, for right now, are 85-70 and took the first 2 games against the Rays. The Red Sox, you are voting for in this 12-11-10. You are going to tell me with your vote which one of these 3 teams gets into the top 10 with the number 10 spot. Boston, last week, Boston was in at number 11. No, 9. Boston was in at 9. Now we've got the Houston Astros, who that game has gone final. The Houston Astros have been swept by the Seattle Mariners, losing 7-3. I didn't feel good about starting Alexander today, and I guess that was that feeling was the right feeling, because that was terrible. He gave up a 7 spot, or was, I think, all 7 runs at least were on him. So we've got the Houston Astros, we got the Boston Red Sox, and I'm bringing the Cleveland Guardians in on this vote. I have a feeling I know who's going to win this vote. Cleveland Guardians are now 84-72 after a 6-1 week. Boston sitting here at 85-70 after to this point, a 3-2 week. They have this final game against Tampa that they're playing right now, and again, are currently trailing. And then we have the Houston Astros, a 3-3 week. Swept the Texas Rangers. Things started out well, basically buried the Rangers, but against the Seattle Mariners, kind of buried themselves, at least at a shot at that division, at a bye, at grabbing a 1 seed if the Blue Jays and if the Tigers. Look, I mean, it's there. The Seattle Mariners are now 87-69. The Seattle Mariners there's still a world where the Seattle Mariners can have the number 1 seed and be the home team as long as they keep advancing, be the home team throughout until we get to the World Series. So the vote is here between the Guardians, the Red Sox, and the Rays. And the question is, which team gets the 10 spot? We will rank them in order of your votes. Again, Boston, Houston, and Cleveland. I have a feeling I know how this is going to go, but you guys chime in with your votes. Cleveland's pitching has been absolutely phenomenal. It is what is leading the way. We saw this last week. We were looking for the bats to come around. The bats come around a little bit, but it is still all about the pitching. 3 shutouts this week. And prior to this Sunday game, they lost 2-6 today. Prior to today, they had only allowed more than 3 runs twice over the last 2.5 weeks. The pitching has been phenomenal with the Cleveland Guardians. The Houston Astros are in a tough spot right now, dropping this series to the Seattle Mariners, falling 3 back with 6 to go is a problem. And on top of it, Seattle now has the tiebreaker. So it's 3 and a game. So you have to finish, if you're Houston, 4 better than Seattle next week. Do you think that's going to happen? I don't. So you have a Houston team that has put themselves in a bad spot as far as the division goes, as far as seeding goes, trying to get out of that first round. They will be playing in the second round. This was a fall flat moment, especially when you had Hunter Brown and Framber Valdez going. Not a good job by the Houston Astros. Now, at the same time, Yordan Alvarez went down on Monday, literally slipped on home plate and sprained that ankle. That thing turned bad, man, and he still has inflammation as we headed into the weekend. On the IL now, you're not going to see him next week. Dude, that thing is gonna be raw for a while. I don't know. I don't know if you see him in the first round. Maybe you do because he's the DH and you're swinging the bat, but he's got to be able to load because it's his left foot, right? It's his left foot, and that's his back foot. That's his load. I don't know. I don't feel good about Yordan Alvarez playing even in that first round. This is another reason why it would have been nice for Houston to hold on and maintain a first-round bye to avoid those first couple games because I don't think Yordan's going to be ready to play. We'll see. We will see. All right, the voting is looking like, I need to get that out of the way, Cleveland, then Houston, then Boston, 58, 22, and 20%. We're going to end the poll. That is how it is going to go. That is the order that we will rank them. Cleveland jumps to the number 10 spot. Houston is in at 11, and Boston is in at 12, as, again, Boston currently, oh, Jesus, this is getting worse. They're down 1. It's the bottom of the 8th. The Rays are batting. There's 2 on. There's nobody out. So the Red Sox need to shut this thing down in the 8th and then mount a rally in the 9th if they want to take a sweep. They have taken the first 2 games against the Rays, but it would put the Red Sox at 85-71, and in doing that, Cleveland would be a game behind Boston. Actually, wait, because we have a Houston loss too. Yeah, we have. This is actually. Oh, I'm grabbing the standings right now. So Cleveland right now has tied with Houston for that third and final wild card spot, haven't they? Yes, they have, with that Houston loss. Houston falls to 84 and 72. That is Cleveland's record, 84 and 72. We'd have to take a look at the tiebreakers and see how that would play out. Cleveland has put themselves in a great spot. Think about this. Boston, Houston, Detroit. If Cleveland makes the postseason, one of those three will not. And for a good portion of time here, kind of looked like those three would find their way in. One of those three will be out if Cleveland is in. Okay. There we go. Got Cleveland in. Cleveland jumping. Where did we have Cleveland last week? Hold on. Where did I had Cleveland 13th last week? Yeah. Cleveland going from 13 to 10 in our power rankings. Let's go to number 9. Cleveland has the tiebreaker. Thank you, Joseph. So Cleveland has a tiebreaker over Houston. Now we have a whole nother week's worth of games to play. So we'll see how this goes. Cleveland goes back and plays more games against the Detroit Tigers, this time in Cleveland, and then they get 3 games against the Texas Rangers. The Houston Astros have 3 games in Sacramento and then 3 games against the Angels. So the Astros go on the road. Cleveland goes home. How are we feeling? You got Cleveland against Detroit and Texas. Detroit is completely fallen flat. You've got Houston going on the road against the A's, and the A's have played them tough. I do believe, if memory serves me right, the A's, to this point, have the edge of the season series against the Houston Astros. So the A's play the Astros tough. This is not looking good for the Houston Astros. But what could bail the Houston Astros out is if Texas continues to falter. This whole wild card and AL Central thing is going to be amazing to watch come to its conclusion. All right, let's go to number 9. Now, number 9, you will argue, should be behind number 10. But that will be decided this week. What has happened is we had a team way up there at number 4 come crashing down. And we had a team that was back at 13 come rising up. And yes, they are going to meet right next to each other this week. It will be determined this week which one will be ahead of the other next week. Because dropping from number 4 to number 9, I have the Detroit Tigers. And I'm not going to go as far to move the Tigers behind the Guardians because typically the spirit of neighbors on our ranking is they have to be neighbors heading into the week playing each other. And I'm going to keep with that. And we'll leave the Detroit Tigers ahead of the Cleveland Guardians. But again, that will be decided this week. The Detroit Tigers did not win a single game this week. They are still 1 up in the division, but that division looked like it was over. Absolutely done a couple of weeks ago. This is a Detroit team. I went back and I looked at it because they're trying to figure out what's going on with Detroit. Is it pitching? Is it hitting? What is it? They have lost their clutch as far as I'm concerned. These are close games. Only one of the games they lost this week was a blowout. Today they lost by 4. Saturday they lost by 1. Thursday they lost by 2. Wednesday they lost by 4. Tuesday they lost by 2. It was just that Friday game where they lost by 9. So these are close-ish. I know those 4-run games aren't really close. But close games. Close to close-ish. And we got a team that over that stretch of time, with runners in scoring position, hit 128. They went 5 for 39 with runners in scoring position. They left 44 runners on base over the last week as they lost games by 2 and 3. We had a 1-run loss. We had 2 2-run losses. We had 2 4-run losses. And then we had the blowout on Friday. I mean, you got to start coming through. Today, Sunday, they left 13 runners on base. They lost 2-6. 2 for 13 with runners in scoring position. They had a ton of hits today. Just completely falling apart for the Detroit Tigers. It's not over yet. They still control their own destiny. They have 3 games against Cleveland to start the week. if they can go out there and win these games, I do believe Scuba will pitch, right, in Cleveland. Go out there and win those games. Maybe get some breathing room heading into Boston over the weekend. That is going to be fascinating to watch. In at number 8. Man, this is a tough one. I'm gonna leave this though, because I don't like the way the week started for this team. In at number 8, I've got the San Diego Padres. The San Diego Padres against a Mets team that is completely falling apart and has continued to fall apart, losing the series to the Washington Nats this weekend. The Padres messed around and lost a series to the New York Mets to start the week, dropping 2 out of 3. They bounced back and took 2 out of 3 from the Chicago White Sox. So all in all, it was a 3-3 week. But I am going to drop the Padres back 1 spot for that series loss to the New York Mets. And on top of it, there is a team that had to leapfrog them. It had to. So if that team that we'll put on the board in a minute or two wasn't playing the kind of baseball they were playing, we would hold San Diego where they are. But you lose that series to the Mets. You have a team behind you playing red-hot baseball. Sorry. Padres fall back 1 spot. In at number 7. This week started out so good. It started out so good. You sweep a team. On the road, you sweep a team. You clinch a postseason spot on Wednesday. And then from that moment on, you haven't won a baseball game. This is Chicago Cubs. Chicago Cubs go from 5 to 7 after sweeping the Pittsburgh Pirates in Pittsburgh to start the week, and then getting swept by the Cincinnati Reds over the weekend. Shut down on Thursday and Sunday. Could not put a run on the board. Swept by the Cincinnati Reds, giving the Cincinnati Reds life. The Cubs are in. The Cubs are in. And I don't know, did getting in take some of the juice away? I don't know. Because this Cubs team is a wild card team. That was I've been saying that for a week now. I did not see a Brewers collapse. Did not see a world where anything changed there, and now it's not because the Brewers have clinched. But this Cubs team, Jesus, man. You can't get swept by the Cincinnati Reds. I don't care if they're in Cincinnati. I don't care how good they are. You're the Cubs, and you've been one of the best teams in baseball this year. You cannot get swept in this situation. But good job by the Reds. Not trying to take anything away from the Reds. Good job by Cincinnati. They showed up. They hit, they pitched, they outplayed you, and they swept you. And at the end of the day, it's not going to cost the Cubs anything. And again, is that, I can't imagine that creeps into your mindset right now, but maybe for some guy, I don't know. That's a tough one. If you're the Cubs, you don't like it. You're in the postseason. You have the wild card spot with the Padres going 3-3 this week. That's a number 1 wild card spot. Should be nice and comfortable as well. So again, I don't know what it is, man. Maybe the just the juice isn't there because there's nothing to play for anymore. You got it. I don't know. I don't think that's a thing. That's a talking point. That's a narrative that can be driven up. But just kind of really bad weekend for the Cubs. They drop back 2 spots from 5 to 7. In at number 6, up 3 spots, going from 9 to 6. The New York Yankees. Yankees are now 88 and 68. Took 2 out of 3 in Minnesota. Took 3 out of 4 in Baltimore. If you're a Yankee fan, there's a lot to like right now. Rodon and Fried are locked in. Aaron Judge is too, and it's been that way for a couple weeks. Trent Grisham had a good week this week. The Yankees are hot on the heels of the Toronto Blue Jays. Just 2 back in the American League East, and they get the White Sox and the Orioles in the Bronx this week. Couldn't line up any better for the New York Yankees to try to jump over the Toronto Blue Jays to take the American League East. Here's the thing, though. Not to rain on the Yankees parade. Yes, it's only 2 games back, but the Blue Jays have the tiebreaker. So it's 2 games and then 1. So the thought process is, do you believe the Yankees can be 3 games better than the Toronto Blue Jays this week? I don't know if that's possible. Just like I don't see the Astros being 4 games better than the Mariners this week. Don't see that happening. I don't know if the Yankees will be 3 games better than the Blue Jays. Could they finish with a better record? Sure. Yeah, definitely. But 3 wins better than the Blue Jays next week? We're calling for a 2-4 week for the Blue Jays? Don't see it. Yankees go from 9 to 6. Entering the top 5. 87 and 69. Sweeping their rival, and I think putting it to bed in the American League West. The Seattle Mariners. Logan Gilbert tonight. My God. Ace, top of the rotation kind of stuff. Shutting the Astros down. The Seattle Mariners taking 2 out of 3 in Kansas City and then sweeping the Astros in Houston. Cal Raleigh setting the switch hit home run record this week, which is big. That record was held by Mickey Mantle. That was a big milestone. He already set the record for most home runs by a catcher. He just set the most home runs for a switch hitter. He set the home run mark for the Mariners in the season, breaking Griffey's mark. 58. It's amazing. Incredible. Raleigh, we got a week to see if Cal Raleigh can get to 60. And I'll say that he can. The Seattle Mariners have the Rockies. How's that pitching staff? They have the Rockies and then the Dodgers. Now, the Seattle Mariners at 87 and 69, we start thinking about trying to make sure you lock in that first round bye. They have a 2-game advantage over the Tigers for a first round bye, and they are 3 games behind the Blue Jays for the number 1 seed. So if you're Seattle, you're going to keep your pedal to the metal this week, trying to secure that first round bye. Good job by the Seattle Mariners. They have really knuckled down. They have locked in over the last couple of weeks. It's good to see. There have been a couple of years where they have had terrible fate bestowed upon them as they faltered and fell apart and things didn't go their way, but they're all over it right now. They are playing fantastic baseball, and I think the West is theirs. I don't see the Houston Astros being 4 games better than the Seattle Mariners because the Mariners have the 3-game lead and they have the tiebreaker. Okay. Now, we have a 1, 2, 3, and 4. And on the thumbnail, you saw I had the top 3 with the question mark with these 4 teams still on the board. I want to know. Let's have some fun with this. How deep, how far into the stream are we? We are 33 minutes. Okay. I got one of my devices glitched here. I'm glad we're still going because this thing says 11 minutes. This thing says 33 minutes. Let's do this. I want to eliminate between the Dodgers, who are moving up, the Phillies, and the Blue Jays. I'm going to give you a chance to eliminate one of these teams, and we will figure out the top 3. We're not taking the Brewers out of the equation. They're 95 and 61, best record in baseball, a 4-2 week, swept the Angels, only got 1 from the Cardinals, but still 4-2 weeks. So the Brewers are not going to be in the conversation for this. I will bring them in the conversation. I will let you confirm and affirm the status, but I want to know out of the 3 teams at that 2, 3, and 4, which team's out? Between the Dodgers, the Blue Jays, and the Phillies, which team is out of the top 3? I'm going to get the poll going. Which team is out of the top 3? And then we'll have the conversation about the rest of the group. And again, it's between the Dodgers, the Blue Jays, and the Phillies. That's a tough. So I'm doing this because this is a much tougher question than who's number 1. This is actually a tough one because the Dodgers just went 4-2 this week. Yeah, they dropped 2 out of 3 to the Philadelphia Phillies, but took 3 out of 4 from the San Francisco Giants. The Blue Jays dropped 2 out of 3 in Kansas City. Not great. Split with the Tampa Bay Rays. Blue Jays are dealing with some issues right now. Bo Bichette is not there. Bo Bichette is not going to be there for the rest of the regular season. Chris Bassett has been sent to the IL. So the Blue Jays are in an interesting spot. And the Philadelphia Phillies just lost 2 out of 3 to Arizona after taking 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers. Slowed down by Gallen and Erod over the weekend. So that's what I'm saying. This is, in my opinion, the tougher question to answer. Which of these 3 teams is out of the top 3? You guys let me know what you think. I have, if you want to know what does Jim have on his notes, I had the Dodgers in at 4. So I had the Dodgers out of the top 3. I had the Dodgers moving up 2 because the Dodgers were in at 6 last time. So I had them at least moving up 2. Shohei Ohtani surpassed 50 home runs this week. It's amazing what he's doing. And the pitching is rounding into, in terms of a ability to go deeper into a game portion, it's rounding into form at the right time. Pitched 5 no-hit innings against the Phillies earlier in the week. The bullpen kind of lost it for them, but you're seeing Ohtani get to a spot where he can go 5. You get into October, he's going 6. He's getting deeper into a game, which they need. That is, we saw some good signs there for the Dodgers with Ohtani this week. So let's see who is out of the top 3 of that group, and Philadelphia is getting absolutely no votes on this, which is good. It means we will keep the Philadelphia Phillies in the top 3. I should have the teams up here, shouldn't I? We should have the Dodgers. We should have not the Brewers, the Phillies and the Blue Jays in our Kalshi voting box here as we put this together. It's really behind. It's not even between anybody. We have Dodgers 56%, 57%, toggling back and forth. The Blue Jays at 39 and the Phillies at 4. So it'll be the Dodgers. We're not going to rank anybody based on this. This was a standalone vote that is going to place the Dodgers in at the number 4 spot, which is what I had. I had the Dodgers moving up 2, moving into the top 5 again to that number 4 spot. Now, the Dodgers this week, as we look to lock in the National League West, I feel like all of the confidence should be there. You're 3 up. You have the tiebreaker over the Padres. You have 3 games against Arizona. You have 3 games against Seattle. It is all on the road, but the Dodgers are playing good baseball right now. And the San Diego Padres, you could argue, yeah, maybe a little bit. They'll get the Brewers, the Padres do, and then they get Arizona. And when they face Arizona, Arizona could still be trying to grab the wild card spot. I believe, because the Padres have to finish 4 better than the Dodgers, I believe the Dodgers will have the NL West taken care of, locked in before this the weekend series. So when San Diego plays Arizona, San Diego is not going to be trying to win the West anymore. When the Dodgers play Seattle, again, that'll be done. The Dodgers will take care of that against the Arizona Diamondbacks. All right, so Dodgers are in at number 4. So now it comes down to 1, 2, and 3. And I don't necessarily want to put us in a spot where, how do we want to do this? I don't want to put us in a spot where we are voting Brewers, Phillies, and Jays because, I mean, it's tough, guys, because I mean the Brewers, our reigning number one. They have done nothing to really lose that spot. Really, it's interesting between 2 and 3. How do I want to do this? How do I want to do this? I feel like the more interesting question is between the Blue Jays and the Phillies. Are you with me? Is the more interesting question between the Blue Jays and the Phillies? I feel like it kind of is. I feel like Billy doesn't think the Jays should be in the vote. No, that's what I'm saying. I kind of feel like look, you want to know what I think it should be? I think it should be Jays, Phillies, and Brewers. Here's what I'll do. I'm going to put in the poll, should it be Jays, Phillies, and Brewers? We'll say yes and no. And if we get more than like 75, 80% yes, then we're done. That's what it is. Let's do it. Let's see. Let's see. Say no. Let's see. Should it be? Let's see. What did I have? Toronto, 3 Toronto, 2 Philly, 1 Milwaukee. Yes or no? And while we are voting that, again, I want to remind you and thank Kalshi for being our new sponsor here for our Power Rankings live stream. Oh, man, I am really having trouble. Dude, it's done. Oh, man, this is bad news, guys. I have absolutely no ability to edit and change my screen on my Streamlabs portion. That's a major bummer, because this was where I was going to pull up, because I wanted to show you the Kalshi odds in the Central to see how the gap closed for the Detroit Tigers. And I can't do it because my Streamlabs is dead. That is very disappointing. So in place of that, I'm going to give Kalshi one more read as we let this vote populate itself. Again, our live Power Rankings is sponsored by Kalshi today. We will dig deeper into the actual application and how it runs and how it works very soon in a future stream, in a future video. They are the largest federally regulated prediction market in the U.S., where unlike sportsbooks, people trade against each other, not the house. Fans can legally trade on the outcome of baseball games, division winners, awards, and beyond just baseball and beyond sports. You can wager on politics, pop culture, award shows, the economy. Odds are directly tied to market prices, and you can see exactly what it is when you enter those dollar amounts. You can legally trade in all 50 states, including California and Texas. Better than sportsbooks, with that legal in all 50 states, better odds, no limits, transparent pricing. I want you guys to give it a try. I put a link in the description for you to easily head over there and check it out yourself. Kalshi gives $10 when you sign up with my code BALLCAP and make a $100 deposit. All right, let's see how we are looking here. We are at 75% yes. That was kind of my barometer, right? I was at that like 75, 80% range, and that is exactly where we have landed. All right, so we're going to end the poll. We're going to place the teams, and that is how we are going to finish with that. Overwhelming majority is on board with that process. I can't get there it is. Could not get it to open. Boy, technology is just fighting hard here. It is going to be Milwaukee 1, Philadelphia 2, and Toronto is going to be 3. So, Brewers 1, holding on for another week. Philadelphia going up to the number 2 spot, and the Toronto Blue Jays in at number 3. with the Dodgers right there behind him at number 4 and Mariners in at number 5. All right, that is Power Rankings again for the week of September 22nd, heading into the final week of the regular season. Make sure to smash that like if you enjoyed your time here, and leave your comments down below for me and the community to see what's your top 5, what's your top 10 look like, and how are you feeling heading into the final week, especially if you are one of those teams that are still playing for something right now. That is going to do it for me. BALLCAP Nation, thank you for coming in. I salute you to the 100 Club. To those of you, the 200 of you that are still here live with me as I wrap this up, an extra salute to you guys. Thank you for making it all the way to the end. It does amazing things for the algorithm, your time spent watching. So thank you for that. I truly do appreciate it. Make sure to, again, smash that like on the way out. And remember, if it's low, let it go. And if it's high, let it fly. I'll catch you next time.